bit of change of pace today on the Car Edition YouTube channel. You see me do an Ingenium timing chain. Everyone's going, oh, he only does the wet belts, he only does this. I do it all. This is a lovely Range Rover Velar. It's on 97,000 miles. So yeah, let's get tucked into this chain. So first thing we do on these, we put it on the ramp and we make sure that the handbrake doesn't come on so that you can turn the prop shaft to undo that. And then you undo the million under tray bolts that are obviously necessary. What a surprise, it's already got a little bit of an oil leak. It's nothing too crazy, to be honest. It does look like it's actually coming from the timing cover at the top. So I think doing our job today is going to sort it. We love that. So the reason we're back here taking all of this off, if you're not a fan of the channel and haven't seen all of our videos, because we do them a lot, the chain's at the back of the engine, so the gearbox has got to come off so you can see the chain. One at a time. Something like that. Just disconnecting the starter motor so we can access the torque converter bolts to get the gearbox out. Do, 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 do. Just disconnecting the wiring for the gearbox. That will stay up in the car. Emergency neutral. This four-wheel drive is a big f***ing gearbox. Let's get a long extension and let's undo some bits. There's definitely less room on this four-wheel drive one. Akush said, oh, it's the same. It's f***ing not. This is like mechanics work from home today. Yeah, all right. Tell you what though, give me a rear-wheel drive box over a front-wheel drive box any day. Wow. There's a hell of a lot of bolts. So all of them are cracked off. We now just need to get the starter motor out, torque converter unbolted, and then we can bish bash bosh get the gearbox out. Oh my god! It came out. But damn! It didn't want to. Four-wheel drive, it's like reverse cowgirl. It sounds great, but really it just doesn't work. Plus if they're stiff, then just quit. That's it, we're Gucci. So we've just finished undoing the torque converter bolts. Now we just need the ring of bell housing bolts and it'll come out. Did I just not undo this bolt? I swear I undone all of them. Bro, there's so many, I don't even know. Well, behind me right now, it looked really bad, wouldn't it? Just, like that. It should be good to come down a little bit. It's very wobbly. So now we've got the gearbox out, you can definitely see our oil leak a little bit better. Coming from that top cover. Just need to strip all this stuff and get the cover off. Please don't fall on my head. Move this coolant pipes out of the way, EGR out of the way, access the cover, get this cover off. Don't f***ing wind me up. You're kidding me. What an actual bag. We have an EGR bolt already not wanting to come out, so gonna heat it up. Hopefully it'll come out. If not, ruin the shit. And I've got another one that is snapping a bolt on me, and I f***ing hate Land Rovers. Why me? Every time Akush does one, he doesn't ever seem to have these issues. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do one today, Akush, because you're already on one. I take the one with a snap bolt. The problem is the bolt is so long, it probably needs to be there, max. And it snaps, so let's deal with that later. That's really fucking hot. So as you can see in the top of the timing cover here, This is where the slack in the chain actually just eats away at the top cover. This isn't machined from factory. So we're just going to take the ring of bolts out now, and then we'll get this timing cover off. One of them. Now we just want to get it timed up and get the chain off. Bollocks, I didn't want to do this yet, because I've got to heat that bolt, ain't I? The way you time these up, this one with the slit in has to be at the top. I mean, you can see already here the slack that we've got in the chain before we've even timed it up. See it jumping about all over the place? It's nearly up there. Now I'm going to need to attack the front bit, get the boost pipe out of the way so I can put the crank tool on, get rid of some of those bits up the top so that I can get the camshaft tool on, and then we're good. Right, once you've got this pipe out, you can now get on the front. Pretty much got to undo those 2 8mm for the cooler, move it over a little bit, and then the tool will go in. Stop the wiring loom a little bit so we can get the tool in, take off these 2 lifting eyes and intercooler bolts down the front. Before we get all up in there. Yeah, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, you know. And you're not left-handed, or you need a break because you're just using these 2 fingers to literally do this. I'll get it eventually. That should be that. Moved off enough. We just want to lock the camshafts first. Almost there. You have got to have extender arms to do this. Something like that. So now we've got our modified tool here for the front, and we just want to put this on. There we go, it's in. Now we've pinned the crank. You see all of our slack here, like you can get a whole screwdriver in that gap. Same here, all the way around. It's all slack. And then same for the top, you can see up there. So the plan now is we put the other bit of the tool in, which is the cam pulley holder, and then we undo that bolt. To undo that bolt, we've got to get it f***ing hot. Hopefully we don't set ourselves on fire because I accidentally sprayed a little bit of brake cleaner, but we'll see. Like that. Right, that's that secured. We've got a little bit of heat shield here to go in behind to just protect some of the goods. Time to find out if there's still some brake cleaner left. So there we go, nothing melted, I didn't blow up, I've still got all my eyebrows, we're Gucci. Right, so let's get the chain off now. Sprocket holding tool off. Careful because it might still be warm. It is slightly warm. One tensioner, as you can see, was all the way out. So we can take that gear off. That chain should come off. One of them. And then one of them. That's everything for the top chain. So you've got your guide, your another guide, obviously your chain, and your cam sprocket. Guide off, and we can get that chain off. This lifts up, and the chain will just come off. And that is the chains off. Bit limp in it. It's like a man after 65 years of living. Blue pill, it'd be right. Now we've got it all off, we know where we are, we've got it timed up. It is what it is. We're gonna have to do the motherfucking snap bolt. Just trying to find the left-hand drill bit now. I know I've got it somewhere. I don't think we're too far off of it, nearly on its way out. hopefully now I've drilled enough of a hole where I can get my tap and tap into it. Let's see. I need one that cuts a bit earlier on. As you can see, we finished drilling that out. We've tapped it back to a 6x1. It was an absolute pain in the arse and it took me forever, but that's a professional repair and that's how it should be done. The next step is clean up, put it all back together. Fuck. Expert at that. My arm is f***ed. Like, I've literally just been holding this trigger for hours. Man. So that's the cover done. We just got to knock out the seal and then we can clean the engine. Finally cleaning down the last bits on the block. This is why we replace them, alright? This is where your chain runs, and that's how it's meant to look on the new one. You can see the chain here is worn away, this old guide, and what happens eventually, that'll wear it away and that'll break, and then you're in a world of problems. So just change these. In this chain kit, you get your tensioners, you've got the bottom chain and the top chain. This is your cam sprocket. We have the intermediate gear, your other cam sprocket. You have your sealant. You get the fuel pump gear. You get your O-rings, your new camshaft bolt, your blanks, your bungs, your guide rail bolts. Obviously all your guide rails, another camshaft bolt, and your rear main oil seal. But just a little bit of a comparison. You can see how much longer the old chain is compared to the new chain. That's what happens when they stretch. So now all we've got to do is get all of this on there. Goes on there. So just put everything in loosely for now. And then once we know we're 100% in the right place, do everything up. So you see our bright links on the top there on the intermediate gear, the fuel pump gear here, and then right there on the guide. That means we know we're in the right place. Then that just slides in there. Put tensioner there. So this is your bottom chain setup. I need to do everything up, but this is how you set it up. I put it on this first because otherwise you won't get it on with that there. Put it on the crank, then put that intermediate gear in, and you've got bright links just there on the marks. So then you can move on to the top chain, put this in, the other bright link will go onto the other camshaft, and then this bright link will go onto that intermediate gear. So on these guides, they're 25 Newton meters. The intermediate gear is 35 Newton meters. And then that is 55. We've got a little bit of slack here. Now all we need to do is pull this, let the tensioner out, and there we go. That's our chain done. Last little bit of cleaning. Can't get it out. Wait, replace this cap. Get a nice shiny new one. A little bit of lube on the ring. Now we just knock out this rear main seal. Don't want that. Bit of brake cleaner. So like anything, when you do and it meets corners, make sure you've got plenty in the corner. The top cover gasket. Before we put this on, where the head reaches the top cam box, we'll put a little bit of silicone. Then we'll put that on. Just where this meets, literally a tiny little bit across that line, and that's it. So now we've cleaned it up. You can see that slap a little bit better just in there. Look. Just tap it in. That green bit fits on the crank, yeah? And then you just... The back of this cover has a lip, so it can only go so far. And you'll hear the note change in the hammer. Something like that. We just got to put flex plate on, and then we can put the gearbox in. There you go. Up, up. Yeah. The gearbox is now in. We've just got to bolt it back up, mate. So this is you. This is the guy she tells you not to worry about. There's nothing worse than having a cut like right on one of your fingers when you're a mechanic, because you always just catch it and it never quite heals. Last torque converter bolt. And after how that came out, it pretty much fell in. That goes over there. That bolts up there. Clean down our mess from the gearbox oil. Now we mount the gearbox. And then we literally put the prop shaft in. Won't put the under trays on yet because we've got to run it up and check for leaks. Go up top, sort the wiring. Take this out of the way. Should pretty much be all the way in now. There we go. There we go. That is underneath done. Let's go up top, sort the wiring out, and then put some oil in it and start it up. It's fucking caught on there. Of course it is. I need to plug some plugs in, bro, and you gotta do what you gotta do. I can't reach it, so here I am. So, never buy an Ingenium. That's the real long and short of this, isn't it? They suffer with chains, they suffer with turbos, they suffer with DPFs, EGRs. They just suffer. I mean, I don't know if you're following us, you might be following the Grumpy Technician on TikTok as well. He's got a lot of JLR stuff. I don't think he'd recommend anyone buy one either. You know what they say, if you can't afford a new one in warranty, make sure you can buy it twice. Replace the oil filter now, and put some oil in it, run it up. We have let the silicone go off. We have done a wet belt in that time, so should be good. Put the new rubber on. Never reuse the same rubber in life and in cars. A little bit of oil around there, put it back in. Take the cap off, let's get some oil in it. On the maximum, let's start it up. Well, I've done something right. It's still running. That's enough to run the oil through the oil filter. So now we just let it sit for a minute, recheck the oil, top it up, run it up to temperature, make sure there's no leaks, make sure it's all good. We can give it back to the customer.